Novocaine is an action comedy directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson. The film stars Jack Quaid as Nathan Kane, an introverted bank executive with an inability to feel pain. When his co-worker and girl of his dreams is kidnapped by a group of bank robbers, Nate turns his inability to feel pain into an unexpected strength in his fight to get her back. This review will be spoiler-free. I had a lot of fun with this film, so I'm just going to get my few negatives out of the way first and then talk about why it is a blast at the movies. My big issue with the film is that it's not very stylish in how its action is directed. The overall aesthetic isn't very pleasing to the eye. It has that orange and teal color grade that has been permeating modern cinema, and I'm really sick of that look. It is overly digital looking and lacking that filmic grit that a violent action film should. The lighting is so flat, and aside from the fact that film is a visual medium, and so I'm going to have an issue with the film looking dull by default, it doesn't help that we have a lot of very stylish action films in our recent memory. Films like John Wick Chapter 4, No Time to Die, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Now, I know that these directors haven't really done all that much as of yet, but the action sequences themselves are not directed with any real flair. This is a great concept that you could do a lot with when staging the fights, but they never really get creative. They never do anything truly out there with the concept. It's done in the most standard way possible. The film is also about 10 to 15 minutes too long, losing some of its great momentum in its second half. Having said all that, this is actually a solid time at the movies, and would be a good film to see with a date or a friend. Like I said, film is a visual medium, so I won't apologize for criticizing how dull the film looks, but if for whatever reason you're okay with films looking plain and boring, then you probably won't have an issue with this film at all. It's an action rom-com, and it is that romantic element that sells you in Act 1. There isn't much action at the start. They just try to get you invested in the romance between Nathan and his co-worker Sherry, and they really do. I thought that Jack Quaid and Amber Mid-Thunder had great chemistry, and I was genuinely into their romance, so when she is taken hostage, you aren't just turning your brain off, as they say. You're actually a motivated audience member, keen to see what's going to happen next. Jack Quaid has been doing great work of late. Companion is one of the best films of the year so far, and this is another hit for him. Usually the first few months of the year are home to dumpster fires, but everything I've seen so far this year has been good, at the very least, and this is no exception. When considering the massive slate of exciting films that will be coming out this year, the solid beginning to the year has me very optimistic, especially following a fairly average year of movies in 2024, and the general lack of certainty for the health of the industry this decade. Even though I said that the action sequences aren't directed with much flair, they still get the job done, and the best fight sequences include one in a restaurant kitchen early on in the film, as well as one in a tattoo parlor closer to the midway point of the film. Of course, it's fairly unrealistic the amount of pain that Nathan goes through by a certain point in the film, but it's still fun to see how much he can put up with and still be alive. The film isn't a laugh-out-loud comedy, but it has a number of amusing moments that will make you chuckle, as well as some decent practical effects throughout. It is a shame that this film is being overshadowed by the other films that it is currently playing alongside in theaters, because while it is severely lacking in style, it is a fun concept with a good romance at the center. I appreciate that it took its time to build investment in its characters, and it paced its action pretty well. It has solid performances from Jack Quaid, Amber Mid-Thunder, and Jacob Batalon. If you are keen to check out Novocaine, I would recommend you see it with a friend or for a date night. It's not an amazing film, but I don't think you will be disappointed by it.